Hey, what's going on, everyone? MONADO Max here. We are back again with another Nintendo Switch Direct predictions video. It feels like it's been so long since I've done one of these. I unfortunately did not do one for June because I actually didn't think we were going to get a Direct in June, if I'm being honest here. But we are definitely getting a Direct in September. We are filming this the day before the Mario Bros. Wonder Direct happens, so I know there's a lot of people in doubt right now, but I still strongly feel, and I think everyone in this call agrees, that it was only the Mario Bros. Wonder thing is just because the Nintendo Live thing's going on this week. So, with that being said, I have assembled the Avengers with me today. I got Itachi with me.
Hello, hello.
I got J. Matthew with me.
What's going on, guys?
I have Mr. Dreamcast himself, Technology.
What's up?
I think this is the exact same squad that I've had for like 3 videos in a row when it comes to direct prediction videos. So I'm happy that we're back again. I think this is going to be the permanent squad for direct predictions video. I am very excited. I'm going to jump in with the first prediction. I'm going in. I feel this might be a weird prediction. It's a wild prediction, but for some reason, there is something in my gut that is telling me that the Direct is either going to open up with this or close out with this. And the game that I'm talking about is ARMS 2. I know a lot of people are like, whoa, that's a kind of big Nintendo game to have on the Switch that, you know, right now it seems like the Switch is in a dying, or not, I don't know if dying is the right word, but we're not getting as much support because the next Nintendo console is happening at some point. Speculation is that the next Nintendo console will come out late 2024 or early 2025. I think the year of 2024 is going to be a weaker year for the Nintendo Switch. You're not going to see many original games come out for the Switch. You're going to see more remastered games come out for the Switch. And I do think Nintendo does want a presence during the summer of having a decent online game. And I think Nintendo is really going to push ARMS 2 as their big online summer game. Because typically during the summer, they have some sort of online game that comes out. I don't think we got one this year, but they just had so many single-player games come out this year that there really wasn't a good time frame to release something like that. So I strongly feel like ARMS is going to get another sequel to the Switch. I think the Switch is the perfect console to have a sequel because I think a lot of our support is going to be onto the next Nintendo console. They could obviously do a Mario baseball game. I know that's speculated, but I think that's going to be towards the next console. And if I'm right about ARMS 2, it's probably going to be one of the last like original Switch games to come out for the Switch. Now, Tachi, you're up.
Yeah, Max, so I really like what you said about ARMS because every September Direct, Nintendo likes saying that they're going to focus on the rest of the year and early next year. And while that is mostly the case, they always throw in at least one game that lands outside of early the following year. Like they did Luigi's Mansion 3 one year, that obviously didn't release until like almost a full year after the September Direct.
Exactly.
And the year that it came out. And last year, it was Pikmin 4, where it just released last month. So we do see this trend of games getting announced that fall out of the early part of the year, even though they said that that's what they would focus on. And I do think that ARMS is a good choice. Another title that I believe that we can finally be seeing, it's like looking to see, like, is it going to be a cross-gen title? Is it getting to the next system? It's Metroid Prime 4. I think we finally see something related to it, even if it's a tease. I do think this is a Breath of the Wild situation where it will be on the Switch, but I do think it will launch on whatever they call the next console. And I do think it's finally time that we see a tease of it. Tears of the Kingdom is out of the way, and this is the last big title that they've announced a long time ago that we still have no information on.
Good choice. Jay Matthew, you're up.
Yeah, that's something I had. Part of my predictions for is Metroid Prime 4 trailer being teased, but I think it's going to be I think they won't say it, but it'll be like for the next system. They'll kind of show that it's a big upgrade, it's a big step up for the series, which will kind of hint that it's for the next system. I don't think it'll be a big gameplay trailer or anything, even though it has been like, what, 5.5 years or something since the initial teaser. They still won't give us that much, but they'll give us something which will be good enough. But I also think Metroid Prime 2 and 3 also have to be shadow dropped, the remastered versions, because if they're going to give us them at all, it kind of has to be now to get a chance to play those before Metroid Prime 4. And of course, the first one did well, and yeah, I think that just has to happen. They just need to do it.
Okay, all right.
Throw it all out of the system.
Ty, you're up.
Yeah, I also have Metroid Prime 4. I think that we got to see something. It's been what, like, I feel like it's been 5 years since they first showed it. But
E3 2017 was the last time we saw of it,
Um,
and then they announced the cancellation or like restart development of it in early 2019.
that's my prediction. There's gonna be something regarding Metroid Prime.
Okay, so that puts me at me. We're all doing this Metroid talk. I do have Metroid on the list. I actually don't think we're seeing Metroid Prime 4, though. I don't think we're going to see that until we get the official code name of the next Nintendo console. If we even get a code name. They might just straight up just tell us what the next console is going to be before code name. Because I'm pretty sure we had a code name for the next Nintendo console right about a few months ago, like in terms of like the Nintendo NX when we had the Nintendo NX. I think we are getting Metroid Prime 2. Now, I want everybody to look at their calendars right now and realize that we're in the month of September. Well, not right now, but we're going to be. And we only have one Nintendo game coming out from Nintendo themselves in the month of September. And that game is technically already out. And that's Pikmin 1 and 2 physically. That's being dropped in the month of September. Now, I bring this up because we're all talking about Metroid Prime 2 being shadow dropped. I do think Metroid Prime 2 is being shadow dropped onto the Switch right after the Direct. I don't think we're getting the physical release till maybe December, though, because that's what happened with Pikmin. Pikmin took about 2 months for us to get actually 3 months for us to get the physical release, where Metroid Prime Remastered this year, we got it like 2 weeks later. Now, I do think it's going to be a little bit different. I know some of you guys were thinking maybe 2 and 3 was going to be dropped together. I think Nintendo is going to be shadow dropping each Metroid Prime game in every Nintendo Direct going forward. So obviously this is going to be the last Nintendo Direct, and I think Metroid Prime 3 will be shadow dropped onto the February Direct if there's a February Direct. And the reason why I say that is just because of how the price point of the first game was and the fact that it got its own physical release. I think this is Nintendo's way of getting $120 off Metroid Prime rather than the $60 release of releasing all three at once. Which that's very smart on Nintendo because that's a stocks move right there. If I'm correct, I think Metroid Prime 2 is getting its own standalone release, and it will be shadow dropped immediately right after the Nintendo Direct. Tachi, you are up.
Yeah, so I can definitely see that happening, especially with, like you said, getting $120 out of it, but I can only see it happening if they remaster it to the same extent, which right now rumors are saying that they're not. But maybe a $30 release is what I could see from it if it's not to that same extent. But I 100% agree with a GameCube game getting shadow dropped, because one time in February with Metroid Prime, okay, that's a fun thing. But then it happens again in June with Pikmin, and that feels like more than a coincidence. So I feel like we're going to see this trend with every Direct up until the next console comes out. And there are a few different avenues that they can go with this. A lot of people are thinking F-Zero GX could happen. That can happen. Metroid Prime is the one that's being up there. Zelda is one that's being heavily rumored since the Switch came out. But my wild card for the GameCube game would be Luigi's Mansion 1.
Oh man, that'd be so cool.
Because we got Luigi's Mansion 3. We got Dark Moon Remaster coming out. Why not shadow drop an HD version of the first Luigi's Mansion with maybe a physical coming out on Halloween?
That'd be cool.
Maybe like that would be interesting. That'd be fun.
That'd be great.
I think one of the things that we're going to be seeing when it comes to the Switch within the next year, as I said before, I really don't think we're getting much more original games. I think it's just going to be remasters. And I think Nintendo is really going to utilize that GameCube catalog since they've not really done much with it. since the GameCube. They didn't do Virtual Console on any of the consoles for GameCube, you know. So I think Nintendo realizes what they have because of the interest that there is with GameCube right now. I mean, those games have skyrocketed like crazy ever since the pandemic. I think Nintendo is going to re-release a lot of GameCube games to fill out the Switch next year for it not having as many typical like original releases. So I think you're onto something there, Itachi. J. Matthew, you are up.
So I think, look, I hope I don't steal Ty's thunder with this because this is a Dreamcast prediction. But this is about NSO because I think we've seen a trend recently where they're trying to pump out a lot of NSO stuff before the Switch's life cycle ends, and especially since it does before it gets close to the end, like super close to the end. You know, we saw N64 drop along with Genesis at the same time, right? And there was the Game Boy and GBA. I think since we got Genesis, I think it's fair to predict they also do Dreamcast in the NSO, which I think would be quite the amazing thing to see. We could have Sonic Adventure 2, Soul Calibur, Crazy Taxi, Shenmue, Skies of Arcadia before the remaster comes out. You know, sort of the Berserk Guts Rage would be fire to come to the Switch. But I think that just would be a nice cherry on top before the NSO ends its run.
Wow, that's a good list right there.
You know what? Can I hop on that?
Yes.
What if they if they pull off GameCube on the regular NSO and Dreamcast on the, but Dreamcast I think is a great console platform for that type of deal because there's so many of the best games for first party, and so they wouldn't have other than like so many first party games, which is the problem with like Game Boy having to make all those deals with these third party publishers and developers that some don't even exist anymore, and so many licensed games and stuff like that. There wasn't a whole lot of that on the Dreamcast. I think that's a good candidate. But that could be something that comes after the Switch. That maybe it's not. Emulating Dreamcast is, and I mean, I guess it looks like they have a GameCube emulator operational if they're being able to port these games over. But I think that's the other thing is I think that Nintendo sees that their GameCube games still as kind of a higher level than subscription. So I worry. But I think Sega would do a deal for that.
Yeah, I would predict GameCube, but I feel like it's just too big of a thing to do too late in the system's life.
And they keep coming out with games too.
Yep, they keep doing full price for Metroid Prime, GameCube game. You know, they could do Luigi's Mansion. They still have so many things they could do and get money out of it because people still like to play GameCube. They still, you know, it's still up to date enough to be considered like a real game. I don't know if that makes sense, but I feel like, you know, N64 era is they just did N64, so I think Dreamcast is fitting. And they don't have to make that leap at the next Nintendo console as well. So
my prediction is that we're gonna whenever this next direct is, I think we'll get an announcement of Tears of the Kingdom DLC.
Ooh.
It'll be 5 months since the game came out. I mean, unless it happens like in the next 3 weeks. But I think that's a good time for them to announce it, even if it doesn't come out until next year.
Now, I have a tinfoil hat on right now. I'm looking at the Nintendo calendar. They have pretty much a lot of things coming out. They have a lot of things coming out in November, but they have nothing coming out in December. They could do that DLC for December. And I think Breath of the Wild DLC came out in December also.
Yeah, they shadow dropped the first DLC in December.
So, I don't know, maybe.
And the other thing that leads to this is I know Breath of the Wild got pushed, but Tears of the Kingdom, you hear all those reports that game was done a year before it came out. That those special district consoles sat in some warehouse for 10 months, and so they could have had a huge lead time into working on this DLC. So they could shadow drop, or it could come out before Christmas. I think that's very possible.
I see. All right, so I'm going to have my next prediction be on Amiibo. Now, there's a lot of Amiibos right now that we don't know of. We just know that it's coming. We know that Xenoblade 3 is getting some Amiibos, which I'm actually very excited about. Nintendo has never shown us what they look like. And I think now is the time that they might give us at least an update, at least an official image of what they will look like. And then there is one more Smash Bros. Amiibo that we have not had announced yet. We know it's coming. That's Sora. I think they might finally show off Sora and what he looks like with a release date. I don't know if Sora will come out this year, because I know they got so much coming out this year. They might push those towards early next year, but I do think we're going to see those announced at this Direct. I also have another Amiibo prediction. I think they're going to do a Geno Amiibo. We have Super Mario RPG coming out. I think they will see an opportunity to release a Amiibo with that game. We're seeing Nintendo start to want to release more Amiibos, which I'm very happy about. I was afraid that Amiibos were kind of dying out because they really wasn't releasing much after, Smash Bros. But now it's starting to come back. You got a lot of Splatoon 3 Amiibos coming out, still having Splatoon 3 Amiibos come out. I never in a million years would have expected them to want to do Xenoblade 3 Amiibos. Very excited about that. I think that we're going to see Nintendo do more Amiibo stuff. So I think the one that makes the most sense is a Geno Amiibo, or something from the Super Mario RPG series to get an Amiibo. Just due to the fact that, I think that would be perfect. I think a lot of people would like a Geno Amiibo. Geno has such a passionate fan base. I know people are very excited about this Super Mario RPG game. So I feel like we're getting something Amiibo related with that, and some sort of Amiibo announcement from one of their upcoming games. Maybe even the Peach game that's coming up. They might do an Amiibo for that. I think we're getting Amiibo of some sort, though. Tachi, you're up.
Alright, so I want to bring back another game that we have not seen in a long time, and I think a lot of people have forgotten about, but we had not seen it because, well, Triangle Strategy was up in the news, and that released, and then they were focusing on promoting Octopath Traveler 2, which that's been out. I think it's finally time that they bring back the Dragon Quest III remake that they're doing. Team Asano is busy, always doing something. I don't think they're working on anything else actively right now. I think they could be making that Star Ocean second story game, but I don't think they are. I think that Square Enix is just using the HD 2D engine for it. I think the only thing that Team Asano is working on that's announced is Dragon Quest 3, and we have not seen it in around, I think, 2 years, maybe 3.
Wow, I actually forgot about the Dragon Quest 3 remake, in all honesty. I forgot that was supposed to come out. That was announced during COVID, I think, actually, 2020?
Yeah,
am I right?
That's what I'm thinking. I think it's been like 3 years. We haven't seen it since then, and I get it. They have this thing, they have this habit where they like promoting like one game at a time. Like they were hyper focused on Live Alive, they were hyper focused on Triangle Strategy, they were hyper focused on Octopath 2, and I think it's time that they start hyper focusing on Dragon Quest 3.
Okay then, that'd be exciting. That would be exciting. J. Matthew, you are up.
This prediction's a lot about DLC. I think they're gonna. I think Nintendo's just gonna start doing DLC for every single game they make now, which is for better or for worse. But I think we'll finally get more info on Splatoon 3 Side Order, which is looking very interesting to me. I think people are saying the release date is December 31st of 2024, but I'm pretty sure that's just like, the target date that they always set on these things. And I think Switch Sports, I know people love it or hate it. I think they'll do baseball or something, something to hold us over with that lackluster game. But yeah, I don't know. Those two I think need to happen. Splatoon 3 Side Order, it's very ominous right now. I heard Tachi yell.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
While we were on this DLC topic, I don't have this written down on my list, but I want there to be some sort of video format of me saying this when the Mario Kart 8 DLC gets revealed. And there's one more pack left, I know. I don't know if that'll be this Direct or not. I really strongly feel there is going to be a Nintendo character in that DLC pack. I know a lot of people think it's going to be Pauline and somebody else. There's so much going on with speculation of characters. I really feel like we're getting another Nintendo character. I don't know who it would be. I just want some video format out there, me saying it. One of the last characters is going to be a Nintendo character. Ty, you are up.
I think we'll get more info on that in the Princess Peach game. I think we'll get a name, we'll get some more footage. I think we'll get more information. Maybe a release date or a release window. I mean, we already got a release window, but wasn't it just like 2024?
Okay, that puts me back at me. Okay, so I've been doing a lot of Nintendo first-party stuff. I want to change it up a bit. This one I'm not too confident of, but I feel like we're getting some sort of big third-party game ported to the Switch. Because that's typically what ends up happening at every Direct. We get some unexpected big third-party game that you would have never expected to run on the Switch, or like, oh wow, that's coming to the Switch. I never expected that. Okay, so I think what this game's going to be, okay, this is going to be a stretch, but I am noticing Rockstar Games is starting to support the Switch more. Obviously, GTA 6 is coming out at some point. When? I don't know. Probably like 2025, 2026, somewhere around there. There's one active console that has not been brought to the Switch in terms of GTA 5. And I think Rockstar Games wants to sell as many GTA 5 copies as possible because it's very clear they love selling that game as much as they do. I think they might put it onto the Switch. Now, I was told before that this could have been wrong. At one point, I had a source that most of the time was correct, but sometimes was wrong. I was told that Rockstar wanted it on the Switch, but what held back the actual version coming to the Switch was the fact that the system was a cartridge-based system, and that is why Rockstar Games did not support the Switch as much as they did. Why they are suddenly supporting the Switch, I don't know. But I was told that a few years ago. I was told that during 2020, actually. Now we're seeing, Red Dead Redemption come to the Switch. They're actually bringing out a physical version of that, surprisingly. And it looks like, from what we're seeing, it's going to be all on the cartridge. But I'm hoping that's the case. We saw with the GTA trilogy that came to the Switch that there was nothing on that cartridge, pretty much. And obviously when LA Noire came out on the Switch, there was nothing on that cartridge. I'm noticing a theme there, and hopefully Red Dead Redemption doesn't follow that theme. But right now, from what the cover looks, it looks like it has it all on the cartridge. So hopefully that's the case. So I think GTA 5, some sort of third-party game is going to be announced here, and I'm just throwing it out there that it'll be GTA 5. Tachi, you are up.
Alright, so I am in complete agreement with the late ports. This is nothing new. Switch always gets late ports, and for whatever reason that could be not up to par with other specs, but we always get one. And I have bad luck in the sense that every time I do a prediction of a third-party port, because I tend to do them for each of these predictions, I'm right, but it's never for that Direct. Like, I think last time we did it, I said Security Breach was gonna do it, and I was right, but it got announced at the Indie World. It wasn't announced at the Direct. And I'm in a similar position now, where I'm gonna choose another indie game, and I think this one makes sense. It released on PS4 and PS5 last year. It released on Xbox One and the Series consoles a few months ago, and I think that we could be seeing Stray. I think that it's time where it's not a super intense game. I can definitely see them getting it to work on the Switch, even if it's a late port, and I think it would do very well in this console.
I like that. I hope that ends up happening, because that would be awesome to have that on the Switch. J. Matthew, you're up.
So we've seen Kirby recently finally get an open world game. And we've seen Donkey Kong get nothing on the Switch. Do you guys think that Donkey Kong will get an open world game on the Switch sometime soon? Because that's my prediction. I think they'll be hopefully praying for some kind of Donkey Kong teaser. I think we've said this like every single video. But
yes,
that's because it should still happen.
I feel like there was a Donkey Kong Switch game coming at some point, but I think they're going to move that towards the next Nintendo console, and you will see it towards the first year of that Nintendo console.
I think it should be an open world environment. I think there should be a lot of like retro homage in the game too. like SNES references and a lot of. I don't think it'll be a Donkey Kong Country style game, but I think there'll be lots of elements if it happens. And yeah, just hope they finally give Donkey Kong the limelight for once.
Ty, you're up.
Okay, Max, you inspired me, and it reignited my like whole conspiracy with. I think what you're saying about Rockstar, I think, is also happening with EA. The next FIFA is coming out on the Switch, and it's full parity with the PlayStation and Xbox and any other version, and it actually has the full Frostbite engine. I know we discussed this where what was it?
Plants vs. Zombies.
Plants vs. Zombies, yes, but that was a port years later done by Panic Button, and they had basically I saw interviews where they basically had to rebuild the engine from scratch, and it was only for that game. This, it says, they rebuilt. I mean, basically, it's a new Frostbite engine that it works on the Switch. So I think EA is gonna come out swinging with a lot of their games, their next series of games that will work on the Switch. I'm thinking like even Madden, or even something like though The Sims would work well on the Switch. I don't know if they're going to put that much time into it, but I think we're going to see a lot of EA games start dumping out onto the Switch.
I wouldn't mind that. There's some EA games that I know a lot of people would like on the Switch that has not been put onto the Switch. Like, Mass Effect. I know that was one of the most highly requested Switch games. Ever since the Switch was announced, a lot of people wanted Mass Effect on the Switch. So that would be pretty cool if they could put that on the Switch.
I hope UFC 5 comes to the Switch when that comes out.
That'd be pretty cool. That's apparently coming out this year. They haven't announced it yet, but that's coming out this year. That'd be pretty cool. That's a good theory, because I remember we talked about that on a few months ago. So I'm in support of that. I wouldn't play it, but I do know there's a very passionate Sims fan base out there that would love Sims on the Switch. That seems like something that should have been on the Switch. With the type of game Sims is. All right, we're back to me. So I have a final prediction here. I'm going to put 2 games down here because one of these games I'm not confident in. We talked about it earlier in the video. I feel that the Nintendo Switch, we're not going to see much original Nintendo games come in terms of first-party stuff. It's going to be a bunch of remastered games. And I feel like the GameCube is going to be... You're just going to see a crap ton of GameCube. Because they don't have much Wii U left. They have Xenoblade Chronicles X, but I don't think that's coming, unfortunately. And I've already put a GameCube game on my list. There's another system that Nintendo seems to start showing interest in porting games over to the Switch, and that's the 3DS. Because we're seeing Luigi's Dark Moon out of nowhere come to the Switch. And then, I know it's not a 3DS game, but Detective Pikachu 2 looks like a 3DS game, and it's on the Switch. So, maybe they're putting Detective Pikachu 1 on the Switch eventually, I don't know. But I think the Direct is going to end with a bang. We talked about ARMS 2. I think the Direct's either going to open with ARMS 2 or end with ARMS 2. But I'm more leaning towards opening. But I'm going to say, let's say a Mario baseball game happens. I know that's been rumored. That's going to open up the Direct if it ends up happening on Switch. And then ARMS 2 would end as the final announcement. But I don't think Mario Baseball is coming to Switch. I think it's going to be the next Nintendo console. So, what I'm basically saying, I think the Direct is going to end with a 3DS game announcement. But it's not just going to be just a 3DS game. It's actually going to be something people have been wanting. I put Kid Icarus Uprising to be coming onto the Nintendo Switch. I know that's a wild one out there. I think it will be Bandai Namco developing it. It's going to be amazing. It's going to look amazing. New controls, new content. Maybe they'll do something over there. I don't know what they'll do. New online support. I think it's happening. It's going to come out some point, maybe early next year. Everyone's going to go crazy over it because people have been wanting Kid Icarus Uprising on the Switch for so long. Now is the time with not many Switch games coming out. I think they're going to do a bunch of remastered crap. You're going to see a bunch of 3DS and GameCube games next year. And I think Kid Icarus is one of them. Tachi? you're up.
I would absolutely love that. I have been asking for Kid Icarus Uprising for so long, and I would love it. But my final prediction is a little bit more vague. It's not going to be anything exact, actually, but it's something that I did want to share, and I'm not breaking any rules by sharing this. It's about GameStop. I'm not breaking any rules by saying it because it's not anything specific.
Give us the scoop.
So we have these weekly newsletters from corporate and stuff, and they just had a press conference that all these big companies were at, and all the store leaders went to, and they brought back information for us, and we were told that for the rest of the year that they want us to focus on something called the Mighty Dozen. And these are titles that they want us to focus on pre-orders for, because that's just what they think is going to sell the most for the remainder of the year. And it's stuff like Assassin's Creed, Mario Wonder, Spider-Man, Call of Duty. It's what you would expect, right? But there's one final title on there that's called Embargoed Title TBD. So that was probably shown under NDA at the press conference that I was not at, so I don't know what that title is. But my store leader probably knows about it, and his bosses probably know about it, and we have an embargo title on there. So there's 11 that are named, that are already up for pre-order, but there's one that's embargoed that we're not allowed to know. It could probably be shown here, and that just because it's there doesn't mean that's gonna release this year. It's like the focus on pre-orders for the remainder of the year. So it could be Arms 2, or it could be Luigi's Mansion 2, or it could be a Fire Emblem remake, or Kid Icarus Uprising. It could be something big, but like, if we're being honest, like, in process of elimination, Sony releases like 1, maybe 2 big games per year, and Spider-Man 2, that's already on there. Xbox's big release for the remainder of the year are Forza and Starfield is already about to come out. I don't think they're going to announce anything else for the remainder of the year. I think it can only be Nintendo that is that embargoed title.
Nice. We just got the scoop. Don't fire him.
They can't. It says embargoed title. I'm just speculating on what that could be. I'm not sharing anything like
okay.
Super secret.
Let's put the tinfoil hat theory on, and maybe Itachi, you can answer this since you know a little bit of how GameStop's machine works.
Yeah.
Would it be possible that a DLC expansion pack would be a pre-order? Because I know you used to be able to pre-order DLC expansions through GameStop. Would that be considered anything like that for that?
So you still can pre-order DLC. They just don't talk about it because they don't get anything from it. Like, you could pre-order, like, if you wanted to pre-order a digital copy of Mario Wonder from GameStop, you could technically do that. They just it doesn't. We don't promote it because corporate doesn't get anything from it.
Right.
But I don't think that would be the case, just because everything on there was physical and it was a full release. So,
What if?
Okay, yeah.
What if
Yeah.
Zelda's DLC expansion gets a physical release?
If that is the case, sure, yeah, that could probably definitely be on there. Again, or like you're on that Zelda thing, let's put the tinfoil hat on. If we got like Wind Waker HD, Twilight HD, dual pack or something, that could probably be the embargoed title. It could literally be anything that GameStop thinks would be a big seller for the remainder of the year.
I see. Well, I don't think Nintendo has anything coming out December. I think the last thing is November for their calendar of games. So I could see that being a possibility. Wind Waker HD, Twilight Princess HD, because typically Nintendo likes to release something on December. So
yeah,
I don't know. That's a strong possibility. I would be interested in coming back to this video whenever we find out what that last game is. You'll have to let us know, Itachi.
Yeah, definitely. I'll definitely update you guys when I find out what that is.
J. Matthew, you are up.
This is another NSO prediction. I think they're gonna start finishing up this one because I think they're gonna go to another NSO console, hence the Dreamcast and maybe whatever else. But I think there'll be another big N64 NSO update, hopefully with Conker's Bad Fur Day. I think that would be a heavy hitter. And I would love to see that come to the Switch along with DK64 and Banjo-Tooie, because Banjo-Kazooie are on the Switch. hence why I also put Conker's Bad Fur Day, because they're both Microsoft or Rareware as well. I think that could happen, and Clay Fighter would be a pretty funny one, given that it's like the most expensive N64 game. Yeah, would that break it down in price, you guys think?
I do. I think so. When games get more modern releases, excuse me, when games get more modern re-releases, it does tend to go down in price.
Yeah, that's why I put it on there, so it's not 10,000 whatever dollars it is. I don't even know anymore. People are selling the box for 5K, so I don't even care anymore.
Ty, you're giving our last prediction. Close us out with something amazing.
I think there is a chance that the next Nintendo Direct could announce the next Nintendo Switch console. But here's the reason why I think that they could do this without cannibalizing sales is there was that old investor video or screenshot that they showed where they talk about Nintendo Switch Online or Nintendo Switch the service continuing through the next generation. I think that it's possible that the next Nintendo Switch console could be in addition to the current Nintendo Switch. They could be doing the Microsoft Xbox move where like this is the final generation and we're just continuing. We're just going to make newer iterations where games work with the original Nintendo Switch and this new $500 Nintendo Switch Max or something. Hey, see what I did there?
Yeah.
And so I think that they could announce it and that it's going to come out, May of 2024, and there will be some exclusive games, but most games will work across the entire spectrum of the Switch ecosystem, especially digital games and stuff. So I think that my long shot is that the next Direct, not the Mario Direct, but the next Direct could announce at the very end the next console, or they have a special announcement for it. But
I could see a very light teaser. Since it would be the last Direct of the year, it's kind of their job to hype up the next year. So maybe that it is like, oh, next year there's something big, guys, and do light teaser.
And with like things that like, oh, you buy these games that are coming out next year and they work on this new console, so don't not buy your games.
I think that's a good idea. I would be for that. I'm just curious. There's a part of me that feels Nintendo is going to wait till early 2025 to release the next Nintendo console. And the only reason why I say that is I think Nintendo is liking the idea of not being released around a lot of things. At least that's what I've seen a lot with their big titles. They're obviously this year's a little bit different. They're putting a lot of stuff together this year. I think there's a slim possibility we could see this next Nintendo console follow the Switch pattern where they didn't want the Switch to come out during the Christmas season, and we see that come March 2025. I don't know if that's something they would want to do. They might like the idea of being separated between everybody else. They like doing their own thing, so they don't want to be released during the Christmas season. I don't know. We'll see about that. I like the idea, though, of them showing or at least teasing something about the next console, especially if it comes out next year. All right. Well, that is our predictions, guys. Let us know in the comments down below which ones were just too tinfoil for you. If I'm right about the ARMS 2 announcement, I just want a lot of people, just as soon as ARMS 2 is announced, to be like, wow, MONADO Max got it right. I just have this feeling. ARMS 2, I don't know why. I could be really wrong here, but I think ARMS 2 is happening, boys. I think it's happening.
Hopefully.
Now, let's get into our shout-outs. Itachi, where can they find you?
Hello, you guys can find me at youtube.com/chowtown. Chow as in the Sonic Chow, CHO.
J. Matthew, where can they find you?
You can find me at jmatthew on YouTube. I post YouTube shorts and I post videos sometimes. And you can find me on TikTok at jmatthew YouTube. And that's pretty much about it.
Ty, where can they find you?
I am on YouTube, Technology Gaming. I have a video coming out soon, hopefully this week. We'll see. I do a lot of retro Dreamcast stuff lately, has been blowing up. Doing Game Boy video next. But I have some more Dreamcast stuff. I'm also on Instagram. Nice.
I swear to God, Ty, you better stay consistent with this uploading. I have always told you.
I know. And I started getting all big ideas, and so I have a really big idea that I'm working on. So I'm trying to get a video out before I dive all the way into it. Working
Nice.
on it.
Awesome. And real quick, I left that really long silent pause on, awkward pause after I did, where you guys can find me. I forgot to mention what I do there. We do monthly videos, game journal, game forecast, talking about games that are coming out. We try to sprinkle in video essays and other prediction type stuff as well. I just don't have as much time because I just started grad school, but I do want to stay consistent with at least 1 or 2 videos a month.
All right. Well, we have been talking for way too much. Let us know in the comments down below what you guys are thinking, some of your own predictions, some of the things that you feel that we are just stupid for even saying that, because I know a lot of people are probably going to feel the same way about ARMS too. They're going to be like, wow, that guy's an idiot. So, yeah, make sure to backslash that subscribe button. We're so close to 10K. We are almost less than 400 away. About to be 5-figure MONADO. Very excited about that. And make sure to check out the Twitter, Twitch, the Discord server, all that stuff that's in the description below. And we will see you guys next year for the prediction videos.
Ooh.
Have a good one, guys. Have a good one. Peace.
Peace.
All right, Coleman, that's a wrap. Actually, I don't know why I'm talking at the end. He's going to be done.